Welcome back, everyone. We are still preparing a few things behind the scenes for our Q&A, but I have now Viljar and Leo back to answer your questions. Before we do that, again, for those of you who have joined us a bit later, you might have heard about the fact that we have been moving the release date of Dune Awakening 3 weeks back to the 10th of June with a head start starting on the 5th of June, which is not cause for any concern. It's really just because we want to add some more polish to some of the things in the game, and it gives that opportunity. Additionally, we also will have the opportunity to do a large-scale beta. So many of you will have the chance to actually try out the game for themselves. That won't be under an NDA, so we will be able to show, you'll be able to stream, you'll be able to do videos and all that good stuff. But actually, I have a question for you too. Like, what is your favorite thing in the game to do when you actually play? When you look at it as a player, like turn off your developer brain. Is that working? Does that actually work? Can you do that and play the game? And if you do that, what is your favorite thing to do?
So for me, I love the fact that the game is so much more than one thing. It's not just a game about combat. It's like we have all these different elements. You have the way that we harvest both just water and resources, things like that. Then you can mix it up and go do an ecolab like we just saw. And then I really like how things come together. You might be driving away from a sandworm and then suddenly there's a sandstorm on the way. You drive past an enemy camp and they start shooting at you. Suddenly you run out and you try to take care of them. You get hit by heat stroke, and then it's like, okay, the sandstorm was upon me. I have to find shelter, but I also have to take out these enemies. Like, I like fast games where you have a lot of second-to-second decisions to make, and I think that our game beautifully supports that.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Leo?
Yeah, so I actually started a new playthrough last week, playing quite a bit, and what I'm really enjoying now is setting up my base production facilities and the related mining activities that come from that. So, especially the vehicle mining, I'm having a good time with that. Going around in my buggy, going up in the turret, finding mining nodes to get my resources from. And
it can be very relaxing too. Like that's one of the things that you mentioned that to me earlier, actually, when we talked a little bit as well, and I totally agree with that. That we have both the combat aspect that is very nerve-wracking, can be like get your pulse up, and then we have the mining who can be actually very zen with like following those lines and things. And I really like that kind of juxtaposition of things as well.
Yeah, we actually spent a lot of time and effort trying to make the harvesting, the cutter rate, to make it work and be, like you said, like sand-like and everything like that. And although there is some progression on the patterns that you harvest from, but it still needs to be sand-like. Because the thing is, hopefully you'll be playing this game for thousands of hours, and having something that is that intense all the time, I just didn't think that would be right for the game.
No, it's exhausting,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have combat if you want that experience, but then if you want to relax a little bit and just chill, you can, as you say, go with your buggy and harvest.
Yeah, so what's going on right now is that I'm looking, okay, what's the next tech that I want to get to, right? Okay, what do I need for that? I need this thing, this thing, this thing. Oh, I have these already, right? I went out to some expeditions earlier. But these two things are new. I wonder where I'm going to get those. So I hop in my buggy and I drive out and I hunt for resources.
Yeah.
And it turns into an adventure.
Yeah.
Sometimes a bit too adventurous. I lost my bike yesterday, but
oh yeah, I know that feeling. I think everyone goes through that at least once. So like it's just kind of part of the experience, the Dune Awakening experience.
I got my lesson.
But I think we're actually ready for the questions. Another thing I just wanted to mention before we go into questions is like what I really love is the weird things that can happen. Like we saw that, like actually you posted that, I think, where you were driving through the desert. You were looking for the worm and there was like a crash, like one of the dynamic ships that can crash and like crash down onto the surface, crashed like literally like 2 meters next to you. And you had no idea that was coming down. That was just like it's moments like this that I find incredibly engaging and fun. Like these type of things that can happen. Anyway, so we are ready for some questions. We have the first question from Orange Shire. Can the player select which siege they got to connect to as their home dimension, or it's randomly assigned?
Yeah, so you get to choose your worlds, and in that world there are many servers, which are the sieges, and you can pick the siege that you actually want to connect to. So you don't have to do it in any order, and you don't, and it's not randomly assigned.
Right, and you can talk to your friends again, like to make sure they're on the same siege for that,
Yeah,
or
it's a good
at least
idea.
in the same world as well, because then
Yeah.
you can still visit and all that.
Yeah, you want to align on that before you start, so you pick the
For
right
sure.
one.
Yes, for sure, absolutely. I'm gonna butcher these usernames again. I apologize beforehand if I do. CF Olsen. If you already align to one house, can you later change it to align with the same house as the guild is? So basically, if you can change, right? If your guild is another alignment.
Yeah, you can. You can betray your house.
But only once.
Once. They won't take that lightly, so you better think about this really carefully. Like, what align you first, and
Yeah,
if
it's
you
frowned
betray.
upon.
Yep, they don't like that very much. P-Dragon76 asks, can you progress far without PvP, or is this game mainly going to be around PvP?
So you can play in the survival area, the survival game map that we have, which is 8 by 8 kilometers, and you don't have to PvP at all in that. Now going to the deep desert, you don't have to PvP. It's just that you run the risk of PvP. And as what I talked about earlier is that we have all these tools where you can quickly get away. So the goal was that people who don't want to PvP may still go there for the loot, but be on the lookout for enemies coming, and then just drive away really fast, or you using your Ornithopter as you would to get away, or if you get jumped, use your abilities to get away. So we didn't want to have people be ganked very early on, and we thought that, well, at this point you played the game for 100 hours, so you probably know your way around the disruptor, right? So when you get there, people who will PvP you, but they will actually meet people who know how to play the game. So that was the goal. Now, not everyone is going to love that, but like PvP, but you can then run away. As I said, you don't have to engage with them to get the things.
It's almost as if you decide to opt into PvP, you actually put yourself at a higher risk than someone that says, I'm only going to play PvE in the game. And also, we haven't actually talked about the end game and the launch route system, which does have PvP, but you can actually also influence that with PvE as well. So it's not all PvP at all. So there's a lot of options for PvE players as well.
Yeah, definitely. You can play the game for hundreds, thousands of hours without engaging in PvP easily.
Oh my God! Now I'm outing myself as an old woman. Unpaid Taxi, is that the name? That is the name. That's fantastic. Love it. Unpaid Taxi asks, "Is the slow blade automatic?"
So we have two main attacks for the blade, like the basic ones, if you don't have any skills or abilities associated with it. So we have the quick attack, and then we call it the stab, even though it's with swords and everything you can do the slow blade there. So you can do the quick attack, which is effective to stagger enemies, so you get time to actually deliver the slow blade. Now, if you use the slow blade on an unshielded enemy, you will have a quick in, and then I'm going to lose the thread here. It works differently. So basically, the slow blade is automatic in the sense that it will trigger if you do a stab, so to speak. I guess
basically it's a special. You do it as a special attack, so it's a special like you hold your mouse button basically longer. You just click it, so it is a special trigger, and then the animation will play itself out. But it doesn't automatically happen. You have to trigger it actively.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you look for opportunity, right? And there I can get the timing in right. Okay, now I hold, and now I get the slow blade.
Yeah, and also it takes quite a long time to actually execute a slow blade because it's called slow blade. So you have to make sure your enemy is either staggered or they do something that they don't immediately can retaliate, right? So I think that's also.
I think I can explain what I tried to say earlier.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you go against an unshielded enemy, you will hold for a bit, so it will be akin to a heavy attack, and then you'll do it fast. Whereas with the slow blade, you go fast in, and then the slow is on the when you actually connect through the shield. So that's how
So
that works.
yes, actually that's correct, because you have the heavy attack plus the slow blade, and those happen differently, like if you're up against a shielded enemy or not a shielded enemy. That's kind of what you meant.
The procedure to trigger it is the same. It's just that it's contextual whether someone has a shield or not.
Yeah. I really need glasses, I think, or better. Sorvina Savage, I think?
Yeah, that's right.
Sorvina Savage. I also, to my defense, I'm actually also sitting further away than Leo, for example. Has like a really nice angle to the questions. But
I'm cheating a bit over here.
do you lose durability on melee weapons? Do you lose more durability on melee weapons than range to offset ammunition use of ranged weapons? That's a good question.
That's
a very
extremely detailed. I don't have the answer for that. And as we balance things, that might go up and down. I don't have the exact numbers.
The numbers.
I don't think it's a major concern, at least the difference, right?
No. I'm always fairly cheap, so you will loot some of it, and the rest you will just pull out your cut array, harvest a couple of scrap metal piles, and then you have plenty so that you can quickly craft them on your person. So it's pretty trivial.
It's not actually a resource that's very important compared to like stamina, ability cooldowns, and other things, right?
Yeah.
In the context of things. Black Lion Apps is asking, can I swap active skills during combat?
So you can swap your skills. However, if they're on a cooldown, you'll not be allowed to swap them.
Okay. Tyler, that's easy for once. Tyler's asking, can you learn all skills available in the game? So Master Trooper, so on.
You cannot actually. You can go pretty far down in several of them, or you can go to the end of a few of them, but you won't be able to get all the skills from all the trees.
Yeah, we actually had that at one point, that we were able to get everything, but then we made it much more interesting also with the I call them cornerstones, but the capstone skills. Yeah, so you actually will have to make decisions in terms of where do you spend your points. I personally really like that. I think it's more interesting as well. That's Serena Savage again. Will NPCs pick targets based on threats, closest player, or use tactics?
Again, that's also quite specific. I wish Alex was here. So they're like, with these things, there's always a combination, and you weight things. So it's like, well, someone might have a higher threat at a longer distance. Who do you deal with? So we have weighted this. So it's like it should feel natural, the way that it works. But again, I don't have the exact numbers for how that's balanced.
The thing is, I actually asked Alex that question, I think yesterday during one of our chats as well, and he said what you just said too, though. Like, the NPCs are actually taking several aspects into consideration. How far is that player away? How much damage? How big of a threat is that character? Like, what kind of abilities did they use previously and all that? So there's quite of a complex mechanic behind how NPCs will react to you.
They do have tactics, so they change how they play depending on if there's one of them, obviously, and if there's more of them, and depending on difficulty, we'll scale it so that the second NPC might not be as aggressive in the early game as they would be in the later game, for instance.
Armored Scooter. Armored Scooter is asking, will Sardaukars be killable, or are they meant to be the ultimate enemy?
So we have the Sardaukar dropships, but Cho mercenaries drop from them. So you will kill them, but they are not proper Sardaukar.
You're just not important enough early on, specifically, that they would deal with you.
Yeah.
They're just sent there.
If you kill Sardaukar, that would be part of. It's not the normal approach.
Don't spoil anything.
Yeah, exactly. You won't.
Maybe you'll have to find out.
They're not part of the normal NPC roster, so to speak.
Mac Wolverson asks, are there any Hunter Seekers in the game to use?
Indeed, they are the last ability in one of the trees.
Yes,
I could tell you which tree, but I'm not going to.
No, we don't do that. But we've actually shown the Hunter Seeker in a few gameplay or in like early videos.
Yeah.
We haven't shown the Hunter Seeker today in the combat sections. Actually, we used other abilities. but
Yeah.
it's absolutely in the
We
game.
used its sibling, the Assault Seeker.
Yes, exactly. The one you saw the ability that
Yeah.
Alex in his solo gameplay was like throwing.
But yes, we do have the Hunter Seeker.
Wonder Drakias is asking, can you extract blood from enemies like they do in the movies?
Yes, you can indeed. It's you will be doing that a lot as you build your base, and you refine blood to actually use as water for things that you craft and also for hydration.
You kind of start with a rusty needle and the bag at the beginning, and then you kind of
all the way.
as you learn more secrets to the desert, you might also learn a few more.
You can even
improved.
drink blood.
Yes.
It will hydrate you, but there are some side effects.
Yeah, it's not super advised, but you can go on. You can also, what I personally hate, you can also use Muad'Dibs and drink a little bit.
This is true. You can harvest the Muad'Dibs as well.
Hate
You
it.
do what
Not
you have
okay.
to do.
Not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. Just putting it out there right now. Slucker, can you attack players of your same faction?
Yes, you can. So what I think I mentioned earlier is that in a group you won't do damage much to your friends in your group, but the people in your guild who may be attached to a faction, you can damage them when you're in the PvP area.
All right, that was it for today. Viljar, Leo, again, thank you so much for your time and for sitting down with us to chat about Dune Awakening. Super exciting. Thanks for answering questions. Thanks for talking about your segments as well. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for putting up with our little hiccups here and there. We'll improve over time. Those are our second stream. We'll have more coming up. Also, of course, more opportunities for you to ask questions. You can still pre-order the game. You can wishlist the game on Steam. Follow us on our social channels, Dune Awakening, for all of them. And as always, stay hydrated. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.